In this lecture, we will learn about how atoms bond with each other. Specifically, we will take a look at the bonding mechanisms between metals. After that, we will be able to understand electric current. We will discuss the direction of the current flow, and finally, we will differentiate between direct and alternating current. Today's video is brought to you for free by JLC PCB, the go-to platform for PCB prototyping and manufacturing. I've been using JLC PCB since I started designing PCBs. They've consistently delivered exceptional quality and reliability. Ordering from JLC PCB is seamless, especially if you're using the design software Easy EDA, which integrates perfectly with the manufacturing process. Whether you're building your first project or working on advanced designs, JLC PCB offers quick turnaround times, competitive pricing, and a level of precision that I trust for all my projects. Check them out at jlcpcb.com and see why so many makers rely on them. The materials we know from our day-to-day life result from atoms bonding to form something. They can bond with each other through different forms. Metals, for example, bond with non-metals through an ionic bond. Non-metals bond with each other through covalent bonds, and metals bond to each other through a metallic bond. To understand electric current, we first have to understand the metallic bond. As you previously heard, every element wants a complete outer shell layer. Non-metals usually want to receive electrons to fill up the outer layer because the outer layer is already quite full. Metals, on the other hand, want to give up electrons, as their outer layer is quite empty and filling it up would be harder to do. When metals form a metallic bond, they give up the electrons in the outer layer. The remaining atoms are positively charged cations. These cations would repel each other. However, the released electrons form an electron gas that fits between the cations. The positive cations and the electrons attract each other, which causes the cations to form a regular structure. Based on our understanding of the metallic bond, we can explain what electric current is. In simple terms, electric current is the flow of electrons, sometimes ions, through a material. In the case of a metal structure, this movement can occur easily, as delocalized electrons are available. The freely movable electrons inside the metal push each other forward, and the electrons can flow from one end of the material to the other. A material that allows for electric current flow is called a conductor, and the property of how well a material supports electric flow is called conductivity. We can compare electric current with the flow rate of a water pipe. The flow rate in a water pipe gives the volume of water that passes through a water pipe per second and is specified in liters per second. Similarly, electric current gives the number of charges that pass through a conductor in 1 second. The electric current is stated in the unit ampere. We learned that electrons' charge is negative and protons' charge is positive. Both charges have the same magnitude, which is called the elementary charge E0. Given with E0 is 1.602 times 10 to the power of minus 19 amperes times second, which is the same as a coulomb. This means that an electric current of 1 amp is equivalent to a total of 6.2 times 10 to the power of 18 electrons flowing through the conductor in 1 second. The current I is equal to the charge Q over the time t. In a basic circuit with a battery, a lamp and 2 metal conductors, electrons flow from the minus to the plus pole of the battery. The flowing electrons transfer energy from the battery to the lamp, causing the lamp to light up. If you disrupt one of the 2 conductors, the loop is no longer closed, and the electrons can no longer push each other forward, allowing no current to flow. Electrons move from the minus to the plus pole. However, electric engineers always label the flowing direction of the current to be from the plus to the minus pole. They created this representation called the conventional representation because early scientists did not know whether the protons or the electrons were moving, and they guessed wrong. Because all formulas today built upon the wrong flow direction of the current, we will still have to use the conventional representation. The current described here is called direct current or DC. In DC, the current is flowing in one direction only. When designing our flight computer, we will almost always use DC. However, there's another form that you should have heard of and understand, which is called alternating current or AC. The current coming from the power grid is AC. Almost all of your consumer devices are powered by AC, and as the name suggests, the current changes periodically in direction and amplitude in the form of a sine wave. The frequency with which this change happens is called the AC power supply frequency. You probably already have heard that in most of Europe it is 50 Hz 50 times per second, while in the US it is 60 Hz or 60 times per second. Consequently, Europe consumer devices are not necessarily compatible with the devices used in the US. So, atoms can bond with each other to form a structure. Metals bond with metals through a metallic bond. Every metal element gives up its valence electrons to have a full outer layer. Through that, they become positively charged. These cations would usually repel each other. However, the discarded electrons form an electron gas between the cations and hold them together in a regular structure. The current is comparable to the flow rate in a water pipe. It is the movement of electrons in a conductor. The electrons push each other forward and transport energy from one source to another. Electric current is measured in ampere and tells us how much charge travels through a conductor in 1 second. A conductor is a material that allows current to flow. Metals are always good conductors as the delocalized electrons can move freely. The conventional direction of current flow is from the plus to the minus pole, which is used by electrical engineers in all sorts of formulas. It is also what you should use when drawing the direction of the current. However, in reality, the electrons move from the minus to the plus pole. Finally, we can divide the current into DC and AC. DC current flows in one direction only, while the alternating current AC changes periodically in direction and amplitude. The full course is available on Udemy.